You don't believe that these testings and preview audiences, which can cause directors and studios to force directors to change endings, are necessarily good.
Right.
Right?
I think it's a disaster. I think because, again, it's forcing it onto a kind of homogeneity. Yeah. The whole testing process, look, I'm not a fool. I know that movies have to make money. And I'd be thrilled to change the picture. Not all pictures, but some pictures, to see if it could make more money. But the fact is, there is no correlation. I once asked the man who conducts the research group, what is the correlation between your percentages and the cards that you break down in demographics that make the mind boggle, and the eventual
performance at the box office?
Right. And he said, we don't have those figures.
No one's ever done a study.
No, well, of course he's lying. Of course he has the figures. The fact is, the figures just don't work out the way he would like them to work out so that he can get hired more.
So Titanic, James Cameron's romance drowning film, as we've all seen. The original ending, the old lady, it's been 84 years, drops the heart of the ocean necklace into the sea. Then we see that dream sequence where DiCaprio and Kate Winslet are in the famous ballroom of the Titanic.
Which, by the way, well out of order, because basically the story of the film is she survives the Titanic, goes off, lives her life, gets married, has a bunch of kids, has a family with this geezer who, it doesn't sound like it was a bad marriage, so assuming he was probably like, she's my soulmate. And then this fucking old bitch dies, goes to heaven, I'm guessing, and is reunited by the fucking geezer she knew for like 3 days and fucked once. Like, I guess the husband was just a fucking sperm donor or something, so she could have a family. You know, he's not getting a look in the afterlife. It's just fucking this geezer she knew for like 3 days.
So the alternate ending, before she drops the necklace, she gives a speech about life's true treasures. She was going to hand it to the crew, so it's kind of like, here it is. She then tosses it over after a comedic back and forth. The reason why it was changed, James Cameron thought it was like really comedic. If we talk about the ending overall, I thought it was a bit sappy.
I mean, it's a sappy film, isn't it? Like, you can't really be mad at it for being overly sappy. I mean, if it felt too comical at the last minute, it wouldn't have made sense. It's kind of like, you know, when you see a low budget film and there's just a weird sequence, tone doesn't quite fit, or maybe the acting was bad or whatever, and it's usually left in there. They probably knew. It's not like they missed it, but they just, that's what they filmed, and this scene can't be cut because the rest of the plot doesn't make sense. Most films don't get deleted scenes even when you used to get it on the DVD if they were low budget, because they just didn't exist most likely, or if there was, it was like one small one that's not interesting. Whereas, you know, like when you used to watch the Lord of the Rings special extended edition where there was like 30 minutes added on because they filmed so much stuff, and it wasn't just 30 minutes added on, it was like, no, they did all the special effects, they did everything, and then they cut it, because these sort of films, they film so much extra stuff, and it's not extra stuff until it's cut, because you don't know quite what's going to stay in and what's going to not. Obviously there's the bones of it, you know, you've got to have it getting her tits out, you've got to have it meeting Jack, you've got to have the floating on the door scene and all that, but generally there's so much extra content, and then they kind of find what fits and what works in it. So there's probably a ton of stuff that ended up hitting the cutting room floor because it didn't quite fit the tone, or it messed with the flow in some way, which is one of the benefits of doing a big production where you can film all these extra scenes that don't end up making it in it. But too sappy? I mean, the whole film's sappy. I don't know, the ending fits the film it is. If I'm watching it, I'm waiting for the Titanic sinking scenes after the iceberg, pretty much. Like, I'm not really into the rest of it, other than, like, I like the side characters and stuff. But, you know, yeah, it is a sappy film. It is a love story. It's a PG epic love story.
Yeah, to be fair, like, the whole film was plagued by historical inaccuracies. The guy that they moulded as the villain, who was like stopping women and children getting on the life ships with a gun, the family were like livid because the guy in real life was like a hero. He saved like loads of people.
As well, the whole upper class versus lower class thing. I mean, not I ain't arguing against the fact that that is obviously was a reality, but I saw a crazy stat where it said a much higher percentage of women from the steerage class, the lowest class, got onto lifeboats than a percentage of first class men.
Oh, really? I thought it'd be the other way around. Is that because the upper class men were being gentlemen and being like, you get on? Or?
I think it was just men across the board. That was the thing. I remember hearing a crazy story where one of the male survivors of the Titanic, when he got back, his mother disowned him because he survived. And some women and children didn't.
Imagine Titanic now. Let's go back to COVID. Everyone was like trampling on each other to get pasta and like
bouncers outside, bouncers outside Tesco's.
Yeah, everyone would be like, every man for himself, like pushing each other into the sea.
Hey, why it's Buttercup popcorn, add some butter to hot popcorn. Mix it up, wrap it up, Buttercup is born.
It's delicious.
So nutritious.
It's a taste delight.
It's so munchy,
Crisp and crunchy.
you'll enjoy each bite. Eat butter-drenched Buttercup popcorn at its best.
Served in a king-size cup.
It beats all the rest.
The Matrix by the Wachowski sisters.
Brothers.
Brothers.
It was brothers at the time.
Well, yeah, let's call them brothers for now sisters.
You brought that up, so we got to talk about that.
Let's talk about it.
I want to hear the odds on that ever happening.
It's weird, isn't it? Like, because they're not twins, are they? They're brothers. They're not called the twins.
I don't think they're twins.
And it's just like, yeah, I get one of them doing it, but do you reckon they had like conversations growing up?
Well, because on face value, you're like, what the fuck are the odds of that? But I guess if you think about it, if it is a genetic thing, which would make sense, I think they've proven being gay is a genetic thing, pretty sure. And I know a gay guy I used to work with whose twin brother was also gay. So does that bring the odds way in the other direction? The fact that, no, it's genetic, so it's still unlikely. It's kind of like if you see someone that has twins, that's because twins run in their family. But it's not like every time you have a baby, you have twins. It might be, you have one set of twins and your grandparents had twins and one of your cousins somewhere also had twins. A lot more common than the average person, but still, not happening every single time. So both the brothers being that way is obviously still less likely than not for that family. But if you got it running in your system, it's gonna happen every now and then. It's like when you're playing pool, you might pot a ball by accident that you weren't even aiming for. Very rarely, but not that crazily uncommonly, you might pot two.
Yeah, do you know an even weirder one for me? I mean, this one's very weird. I don't know if that's the right terminology to say it.
I mean, it's literally unusual. It's not usual, so...
It's unusual. There was a boxing promoter called Frank Maloney.
Yeah.
And obviously, he's in that macho world of, I'm promoting these people literally batter each other for a living, and I've got to sell this. And then all of a sudden, I was reading the paper on the train, and it was Frank Maloney is now Kelly Maloney. And I was like, where did this come from?
Did you ever see Lennox Lewis's reaction when he got told?
Nah.
I think it was, he either got interviewed and he hadn't ever spoken about it before, or they literally told him during the interview.
Oh, was it like Bush when he's reading the book,
the little kids'
in the
book,
school, and then whispering in his ears, and he's like
a second tale is just second. He's supportive, but he's also just like, what? Like, what are you saying? Really?
Fair.
It was weird. I found out when he was on Celebrity Big Brother, and I hadn't heard about it yet, and I was just looking at it. I was like, who the fuck is that old woman?
Oh, I forgot about that. So, The Matrix, the best character, by the way, in my opinion, Cypher. Who
the fuck is that?
The bald guy.
Oh, yeah.
Obviously, he kills Neo on the ship while he's plugged into the Matrix, and everyone's like, shit, Neo's dead. And then you're kind of watching the film thinking, love affair with Trinity. Trinity's going to play a part in this. Something's going to happen. And then it's the whole Snow White. She kisses Neo. He resurrects. He gets up again in the Matrix. Agent Smith shoots the bullets at him, and then time just stops.
He was kind of the one, but now he's properly the one.
He's the one. It cuts to Lawrence Fishburne as Morpheus. He is the one. It was just brilliant. But obviously that sewed it up, because at the end of the Matrix, it clarifies he's the one, because we see him literally flying like Superman into the screen, and you're like, okay, now he can fly. And you're thinking, well, they're not going to show us him flying without showing us a second film, surely. So it sets it up. In the original alternate ending, it was much more ambiguous, where his victory was less clear and the Matrix control remained a threat. And obviously the brothers basically said, we wanted to do that, but the studio, obviously Warner Brothers, who put out the Matrix, wanted a more crowd-pleasing ending, and I guess you can't get more crowd-pleasing than Neo defeating Agent Smith, stopping bullets and then flying off into the distance, can you? So
yeah, I mean, actually didn't love the whole flying off at the end final shot, but the rest of the ending is fine. You know, if it did well, they were going to pump in sequels anyway. I mean, to be fair, like at the end of the film we got anyway, the actual ending we got, you didn't see him, you know, stamping on the last robot body and all the humans running out like, yay. It was still going on. It's just now they had the one weapon to use in the war that was going on. So I don't even think it was some sunny, happy ending anyway. But also the film, if it had just a completely dark, we're not sure if he's the one still, things are still going to be all fucked up ending, I don't think it would really suit the film. Like, it's not your average popcorn, crowd-pleasing blockbuster. You know, it's thrown in like deep philosophy and early simulation, ancient, life is all a dream, religious and philosophical ideas in amongst it all, and Uri Geller spoon-bending horseshit. But even still, it was a fun, happy film. And you kind of earned that fun ending by the end of it. You wanted it.
yeah, I agree with that, because there's certain fun bits in it where it's like, now you know karate, and then next thing they're like fighting each other.
I know kung fu.
Yeah, and stuff like that. And I'm kind of happy they stuck that ending in to set up the other films, because I like The Matrix Reloaded, that, you know, they're in the middle of the square and he's got the metal pole and he's like battering loads of Agent Smiths.
Mate, the car chase sequence was incredible. That's one of those films where, you know, when you're just supposed to hate something because everyone else in the world seems to decide it's shit. Critics say it's shit. But that's the thing as well, is critics all seem to slam it, and it's not as good as the first. And the third one's a bit worse again, but it went up levels of exploring different ideas and introduced new things. It wasn't rehashes. But yeah, I never really got the hate for Reloaded. It expanded the story, expanded the universe, brought in a whole other level of that geezer in the room with all the TVs at the end, where it's like, oh, this shit's happened before, and you're like, oh, fuck. And they introduced the fact that he is the one because you need that, or else if there's no hope in the simulated world of the humans, then they fucking whatever. And also it had a bunch of crazy bullet time-esque, what the fuck, that's a cool special effect moments as well. Like, I always liked it.
I won't even talk about the new one. I refuse to watch it.
Yeah.
Apparently it's absolute.
I heard it was shit. I actually heard rumours that it was one of those weird contract rules where the Wachowskis were gonna lose the rights if they didn't make a Matrix film or someone was gonna lose the rights if they didn't make a Matrix film within a period of time. Like Hellraiser series, one of the, I think it's like 8 or 9 or something, there's so many of them, but that was rushed out in like 3 weeks because they realized they were gonna lose the rights if they didn't release a Hellraiser film. So I get a feeling they just pumped it out just for some weird reason like that, because it was supposed to be so shit. And the moment I knew I wasn't going to watch it was when I saw the first trailer and I was like, why the fuck does Neo have John Wick hair? Like, was he just rushing to film scenes in between fucking film and John Wick? Where's his Neo hair? I literally refused to watch it from that point. Sorry, one thing I was going to say, though, about Matrix Revolutions, I've seen some fan theories that I buy into that make it a better film. It's still clunky and the writing's not as good, and it's kind of just like the way the third installment often becomes kind of lame and characters don't really even act like themselves anymore because the writing gets a bit rushed and lazy. But I've seen theories where they're actually still in another level of the Matrix at the end, so they don't actually win. They're still trapped in it. Morpheus's final line in the final moments is this real? Or something like that. And it makes sense of the whole, how is Neo doing the one shit in the real world all of a sudden? Because it's not real there either. It's just another level of the Matrix that they've made. And there's there's endless brick walls you get. Every time you get past one, there's really another one with an even more complex, convincing illusion.
You'll find such an appetizing assortment of refreshments at the snack bar, you won't be able to decide what to ask for first. All of your snack bar favorites are there, including fresh peanuts, hot popcorn, and candy of all kinds. And And believe us, you've never eaten better hot dogs, crisper French fries, or more delicious buttered popcorn.
One of my favourite low budget, can we call it an indie film?
Yeah, it's like one of the most indie of indie films. It was made for like 30 quid.
Yeah, it's a great film, obviously shot all in black and white, so it gives it that stylistic element. You know, in the ending that we've all seen, Dante and Randall close up the quick shop, share a heart-to-heart, and walk off, setting up future Clerk films. In the alternate, a robber enters the store, shoots and kills Dante, and the film ends abruptly.
I actually kind of like that ending. And to be honest, with like the way those characters were used again, or like in Clerks 2, but obviously Jay and Silent Bob tumble into any old film, like it wouldn't even mattered anyway. Like you could have just done Clerks 2 and been like, oh, he wasn't dead, and not even explained it.
Because Clerks was so low budget, it's not like Kevin Smith could have done what a normal studios would have done and gone to like cinemas with test audiences and stuff. His test audiences were his mates. His mates watched it and was like, how can you have a film with this sort of like comedic tone to just then end it with such a dark ending? It doesn't really fit into it. So in the end, really, we can say Kevin Smith caved into his mate's peer pressure and changed the ending.
That's interesting, because that proves that even when it's your friends who you know are going to be most likely like-minded into the same films as you, you know, he's not going to invite a bunch of his mates around and also one of them is a fucking soccer mum type thing, you know. Even then, test audiences can fuck up a film. Now, I haven't seen this alternative ending, so maybe it wasn't good. Maybe it did ruin it, but it's not an Adam Sandler film where he marries Kevin James. It was dark the whole time. Half the comedy was him just being like, I'm not even supposed to be here today, and getting upset, and he finds out his missus is gave head to like 28 guys, and it wasn't a dark twisted comedy, but it wasn't a fucking piece of fluff. So I don't really get that, but maybe, I mean, you said abrupt, so maybe it literally he just gets shot, he's clearly dead, and then it ends. Maybe it did feel abrupt, but even that, saying it as I visualise it in my head, it sounds funny. It sounds like a fitting ending.
Yeah, in my head, I made it out as them two chatting, shooting the breeze as they do throughout the film, and then suddenly the door to the convenience store bursts open, someone runs in, give me the money, bang, bang. He drops to the floor, you see his eyes open, you know, so he's clearly dead, and then Sopranos style fade to black, film ends.
But you know what, that again, the more I think about it, that works perfectly as well, because even if you don't see it, like maybe they would have thrown in some, you know, when it cuts to black it's credits, but then newsreel footage starts to play over the top of the credits, and you know, you could have had interviews with his friends being like, oh, he wasn't even supposed to be here today, man, this is so sad. Like, it makes that whole recurring line perfect, because he says it like 900 times, and that's what everyone will be saying about him afterwards.
I'm sensing this is a bit of a 50-50 one here.
No, I'm 100% for it.
Are you 100% for the gun?
I think the alternative ending was way better.
The sequels that spawned off were good enough to warrant the franchise continuing, and I'm putting in the Jay and Silent Bob stuff as well. Maybe it should have just ended, as you said.
I don't know. I mean, well, I didn't say it should have ended, but Kevin Smith is niche. Like, I like his films. I like some of his films. I don't like a lot of his films. And there is this weird thing where he's obviously got a hardcore fan base that still love his films enough for him to make films. And he made them really cheap early on anyway. I mean, if you look at all the cynical, indie, amazing filmmakers that came out of the 90s, you know, that group of Tarantino, Rodriguez, Kevin Smith, he doesn't stand out as one of the great ones. Do you know what I mean? One doesn't quite look like the other. He's not stayed relevant in any kind of way like the others have.
Yeah, I feel like you're comparing him against the two tier list of greats, though. Like, you've literally just said Tarantino and Rodriguez there.
I am, but that's my point. He was one of the amazing indie filmmakers that was changing the whole industry that came out around that time. They all had kind of similar, just grabbed a camera and made a film, kind of amazing backstories that launched them and their careers. And it seemed like it was the kind of thing that just happened in the 90s for whatever amazing reason. Obviously, there's always been stories like that, but the 90s was just, there was so many of them in quick succession. He was one of the indie darlings of the decade. So it's not so much unfair, it's more that makes my point, what you're saying.
Now to pause and refresh. For your convenience, we have an attractive refreshment stand in the lobby with buttered popcorn, golden good and hot from the popper, your favorite candies, wholesome and rich with a flavor treat for every taste, ice cream and other good things to eat, plus delicious Coca-Cola. So bright and bracing with the tang and tingle unmatched by any other beverage. Enjoy ice-cold Coca-Cola at our refreshment stand right now.
I want to ask a question, and I've always struggled with it.
All right.
Do you think Terminator 2 was better than Terminator
Yes,
1?
100%, easily.
I agree.
Do you agree? You just said you always struggled with it.
Yeah, do you know what? Like, everyone says it is, but Terminator 1's a fantastic film.
Yeah, it's brilliant.
But the reason why I think Terminator 2's better is because obviously we've seen Arnie as the villain in the first one. And then if you haven't seen Terminator 2 and you don't know anything about it, it's good because you see Arnie coming in and you're like, oh shit, no. And then he turns out to be on their side and it's kind of like, this is cool as fuck. Like,
Crazy ballsy move from Cameron as well. Like, that is a nuts decision to reverse it. I guess it just made sense as a way of like, did you really want to see just another Arnold-like Terminator come back again and chase him for the rest of the movie? But it's a way of keeping Arnold in it. It's genius. But I had the reverse thing because probably like a lot of people our age, I saw Terminator 2 first. And when I then went to watch Terminator 1, I was like 20 minutes in, wait, he's the bad guy. So I was thrown for a loop, but in the opposite way.
the ending of Terminator 2's that we've all seen, Arnie wins the day using the classic line, "Hasta la vista, baby."
And the mythical thumbs up as he goes into the lava.
I love it. He's going down in the lift. The music's playing. Bye, John. it's
The
fun.
little emo kids crying.
And obviously preventing Judgment Day, and then, you know, we get some quite corny voiceover, in my opinion, about how the chip's destroyed and there's hope for the future. But the alternate, a future scene shows Judgment Day averted, with an older Sarah watching John Connor and his daughter in a peaceful 2029 park, and John Connor has become senator.
Was there anything more to it? Like, was his main legislative policy about controlling AI technology? Was there anything else about it?
I don't think there was anything more about it.
So it was basically just doing the Porky's, here's what happened to everyone ending.
I guess he made him a senator because he's like, look what John managed to become after
Yeah, I guess
surviving.
he was a leader when shit hit the fan timeline, so he's also going to naturally become a leader in the everything is okay timeline. Doesn't sound necessary.
And the reason it was changed, I think Cameron backs up what we're saying, actually. He must have had second thoughts in hindsight, obviously. He felt the scene was too conclusive. He preferred leaving it open to maintain the tension and, of course, sequels.
I mean, the thing with Terminator is it's a time travel movie, which kind of gets nearly forgotten about. Not forgotten about, but, you know, you think of Terminator, you think of a fucking skeleton robot walking through some wasteland, or Arnold with the pump shotgun. But it is a timeline movie, and the whole crux of all the sequels is always the machines just go back and change something else, or try a different tactic in their little time traveling strategic moving the chess pieces through time. So it wouldn't have mattered even if they ended it with the senator ending, but it just sounds shit. Like, what do you need after Arnold going down into the molten lava? Like, you don't need anything after that. It's perfect. You know, he's done his job, at least in this timeline for now. He's saved the day. The machines are defeated. Judgment Day is averted. Little emo kid's crying, but he's going to be all right. He'll grow up and apparently become a senator. But we don't need to know that. It's perfect the way it ends.
Sometimes I wish that ending did happen because of some of the films that have spawned. When there was that quite fit, evil...
The third one.
That was fucking dog shit.
It wasn't
good.
It was
so bad, man.
It wasn't great. One of the biggest problems with that is, and they kind of did it with the emo kid, but he was like 13, so it's like whatever, but... And I like Justin Long, but Justin Long, like, this guy's supposed to be the heroic geezer. Who wants Justin Long in their foxhole? Justin Long, like, that's just terrible casting.
It's intermission. Rise and stretch time. Time to refresh yourself and visit our snack bar. Got a yen for hot popcorn? Your favorite soft drinks are sparkling cold. The juicy Frank sizzling hot. There's delicious coffee, freshly brewed, and all kinds of ice cream and candy to tempt you.
So Get Out, 2017. What do you think of this film?
Yeah, I liked it. I like it. Is, you know, one of the first in the wave of kind of, well, not the first, it was like the second wave of the studios saying, okay, we'll do films about other people now. You know, films from the first waves was shit. You know, for ladies, you had Bad Mums and horseshit like that. But eventually, actually good films start trickling through. There's been a lot of good female-orientated films. There's been quite a few good black-orientated films. You know, the sort of black rip-off of Bonnie and Clyde that came out a few years ago. Brilliant. I really liked it. And this is another one of them. I'm not a massive Jordan Peele fan. Like, I think he's pretty overrated. Nope was good. Us, was it called? Was awful. I thought
that was a weird one.
It felt undercooked, like he rushed it. He didn't properly have the concept nailed or something. I don't know.
The ending we've all seen. Chris escapes the house. In the alternate ending, he's arrested by the police after escaping and put in prison, and he's visited in the jail by a rod with no resolution. It changed because the audiences found that ending was bleak, especially given the racial commentary. He wanted a more uplifting ending to kind of reward the viewers, because it's not really an easy film to get through. It's a bit fucking insane, you know. Well, what do you prefer?
I mean, in what way was it not easy to get through?
It was just scary.
It was scary?
Yeah, Get Out, yeah.
I didn't think it was scary at all.
What, in the houses with the weird people in the hats staring and doing weird
I mean,
shit?
it was obviously meant to be scary, but I wouldn't say it was a scary film. It was like a horror, black comedy satire. Technically horror's in there, but enough other genres are thrown in where it's still an enjoyable film if it's not necessarily scary.
I'm happy they kept the original ending. Sometimes after seeing films, I know we've discussed it loads of times, where the studios and Hollywood will give the audience that happy ending in order for them to walk away and be like, okay, I'm glad he got out of the situation. And they can become a bit tired, but in this context, I'm happy he got kept in. I'm happy he got out. Fuck that place.
You could have said almost any other ending and I would have said yes, because I fucking hated the ending of this film. Not just like as in the beat of explaining what happens. I mean, the tone, everything. And it actually makes a lot of sense that they changed it afterwards. I wonder if they went back and reshot it, because it suddenly felt like a whole different film. It changed gear completely. It almost became like rushed, silly comedy. And like some of the shots felt like, why was that cut like that? That didn't feel like a choice. That felt like you had no coverage. So that would make sense if they just went back and filmed it and just were like, fuck it, slam this ending into it. And you know, maybe it was always supposed to change gear like that, because again, it is one of them hybrid genres where it can just become very comedic towards the end, or in certain moments. You know, it's okay for it to change gears quite a lot, but I hated it. I just thought it was fucking lame. It was poorly executed. I didn't like the fucking goofy friends showing up. Everything just became thumbs up really too quickly. You could even left it a bit ambiguous where you're like, you see he gets away and that's fine. You don't need to fucking see the rest of it. But I mean, for the film it is, and the idea it's trying to get across, why is that not the perfect ending that he doesn't get away? And even though they didn't get him in this particular way, where they're trying to steal his body, his physical body, he gets wrongly imprisoned. Would that not say more about whatever stuff he's trying to say about the way black people are treated? Would that not make more sense? I'll give you another film. This isn't an alternative ending, but this is just, I wish it had an alternative ending. You ever seen Promising Woman? She's trying to honey trap potential date rapers. So, really good film. Fits into what I was saying before about like sort of this wave of good, interesting female-orientated movies. Does a really good job of kind of treading between completely different tones, shifts gears a lot from very serious to comedic, but it's always kind of darkly comic the whole way through. And at the very ending, she gets killed by the piece of shit that ruined her friend's life, and they're all at the wedding, and you're just watching them like they got away with it, they got rid of the body, everything's fine, and they're just kind of like toasting each other at the ceremony and slapping each other on the back in their tuxedos and smiling, and everything's great, they got away with it. And then the police show up and you find out, oh, she had voicemails or something ready to go and sent it to the police, and they all get arrested. Now that's a satisfying ending, but imagine instead, for what it's trying to say about women and men and sexual assault and people just turning a blind eye and people always getting away with it, imagine it just instead cut to black, the credits start rolling, but instead of music, you just hear the sounds of the party continuing, and everything's fine, and that's how it ends. Wouldn't have that been better for what it was the point it was trying to make? Wouldn't it have been better in Get Out to have things fucking not go right for him and him to be wrongly imprisoned?
Yeah, but it comes back to the point of all the audience will be like, I really want the date rapers to get their comeuppance.
But that's the point.
Yeah,
Do you
I know,
I don't understand how people don't get the wishing something had happened at the end is what the film's giving you. That's the reason why you remember it or you keep thinking about it, as opposed to going, and then just never thinking about the film ever again. You have the satisfying, I got what I wanted feeling, and then you scratch your ass and you fucking go outside and get a beer or fucking go fuck your missus or whatever.
Yeah.
You forget about it forever. It's nearly proof of concept that the film was good if it can leave you wishing something happened a different way because you fucking care. If you care, it had to have got you on some level.
Yeah, no, I agree. Sometimes you think, I wish life always had these happy endings, but it's not like that, is it?
Dog days, hot dog days that is, somehow have a way of turning out to be fun days. The pop and sizzle of the juicy meat seems to say, come and get me, I'm done to a turn. Yep, hungry or not, it's hard to resist the tantalizing aroma and taste appeal of a sizzling hot dog. The nice part of it is, there's one waiting for you right now at the refreshment stand.
I'm going to finish with an absolute legendary one.
All right.
The most famous family alien ever.
Okay.
E.T. So everyone knows the ending. He's rescued, says goodbye, and leaves the Earth with a rainbow coming across, symbolising hope.
Or being gay.
Or being gay, yeah. Well, the alternate ending in early scripts left E.T. stranded. The spaceship never made it back to him. He never managed to phone home. Hiding with Elliot's family, with the government's pursuit unresolved. So basically, you don't get a happy ending of the rainbow. He's stuck on Earth. Before I say why it's changed, what's your feeling so far?
I love the idea of him staying with Elliot. Like I just said, the film stays with you because you're like, fuck, man, why'd E.T. have to go? I know he has to go home, but fucking hell, man, I would have loved it if E.T. stayed. But going back on that, kind of not even contradicting my point I made about Get Out, you don't have any room to sit there imagining what the fuck did they do next. You know, the great ending to Dawn of the Dead, the original. I always used to sit around being like, where the fuck did they go after that helicopter flew off? You don't really get to do that because it's like, you know, what happened after E.T. flew off? Well, E.T. flew off and they just thought about him forever and had to get on with their lives. Whereas E.T. staying, it's still a level of like, ooh, what's going to happen? You know, the government are out looking for him. E.T.'s sad because he phoned home, but he didn't get home. But you can, you know, when you're sitting on the toilet taking a shit and you just start imagining like, I wonder what fucking E.T. and Elliot were like, what were they doing when he was 20 and he had to go off to college and shit? Like, you know, like what happened after? So you don't get that with the ending we got. You do get it with the alternative ending. Having said that, I'm sticking to my it's better when it stays with you because you care and you wanted something else to happen philosophy, and going to say the ending we got was the right one.
So the reason it changed, again, this is the power of test audiences. They crave closure. Spielberg wanted a family-friendly resolution.
Wait, so he did want it and the test audiences wanted?
Yeah.
So it wasn't the ending he was... But he was surely going with it at one point.
Yeah. So he wrote it into the early scripts. He did film it, and then when he showed it to the test audiences, they wanted closure.
So he didn't want that ending, but he came round to it after the test audiences. Right.
Also, what I will say on it with this current ending, what you said about Elliot being 20, what would have happened then, brought me back to like, you know, 21 Jump Street. I can imagine like some shitty sequel where E.T.'s going around in a high school with like a hoodie on and like doing hijinks on a skateboard.
Listening to early Run DMC or something. It would have been shit.
Yeah, he walks in like, you know.
Actually, no, that would have been shit. Imagine like a follow-up sitcom of like E.T. the college years, and he's like trying to pretend like he's one of the students enrolling.
And he's just like walking.
He'd have to constantly be like, he's a foreign exchange student. He doesn't understand. He's a dwarf.
And then there's a running joke of like, he's from France. And he's just like there. But I think the ending that is, in my opinion, it cements its status as like a family, like classic, an all-time family.
Did the rainbow resonate with you?
Yeah, not really. Like, Did they actually do like? I've always wondered. Did they actually do like adverts of Skittles after it, where it's like taste the rainbow, E.T.
Well, if they didn't, then some marketing guy somewhere should have been fired. I'm going to be honest. I'm going to reverse it again. My decision now, just now knowing that Spielberg originally wanted the other ending, and they fucking listened to test audiences. Can we end this talking about how dumb test audiences are?
I read a sort of like really big book about the making of Blade Runner. It was saying like test audiences to a man hated Blade Runner. Like literally,
exactly.
They were like, "Oh, it's a load of shit. I don't get what it's saying." Obviously, there's like 3 different endings in it, and that's one of the reasons why like you had like that stupid voiceover stuff because of what test audiences were saying. Like it's too open ending. I don't understand it. And then
I've never, and maybe you just don't hear about them, but I've never heard a story where test audience saved a film. The original ending of Jaws was a man was going to come out and he was in a shark suit the whole time, and test audience was like, that's dumb, just make him a shark. And Spielberg was like, all right. But it's never happened.
I don't know, it's debatable to me with the films that I've given as examples. Maybe not some of them, but did the test audience's reaction and pressure give E.T. the right ending in the end? Did they give Clerks the right ending in the end?
No.
It's subjective, my friend.
Obviously, everything's subjective, but no. All right, is everything subjective up to a point? Like, everything's subjective, but if one of your friends said, oh, I can't stand Goodfellas, you'd be like, you're just wrong on that. That's just a wrong opinion. Look, I'm not going to die on the hill for that ending would have been better. I love the ending of E.T., but I just fucking hate test audiences. And it's not even their fault. Who knows who they get? They're probably dumb anyway. But also, they're asking them the wrong question. Say I was the test audience for Thelma and Louise. We all know how it ends. They go crashing into the fucking canyon or the cliff or Grand Canyon or where the fuck. They're driving in the car, it goes slow motion, and you don't see them die, but you know they're going to die. Now, if you come to me after the film and ask me, like, oh, did you like the ending? What did you want to happen? Obviously, literally what I'm going to say is, I wanted him to get away with it. I wanted him to live. I love Thelma and Louise. That was a great movie. That doesn't mean what the ending should be something else. Obviously, like, the ending of Casablanca, you're like, God damn, like, I know he had to go and sort shit out because World War II's happening and it's more important, but fuck me, I wish they got together. But that doesn't mean I want the ending to be changed, or it should be changed. That feeling, that reaction of some soccer mum coming out and being like, oh, that was so sad, I wanted, is the point. That was what the film should have been making you feel. It's nearly like put a plaster on and you're like, but it stopped the blood. It's what it was supposed to happen. It's the worst fucking thing you could do. All they should ask is, did you like it? Or that probably wouldn't even work, because sometimes people don't think they like it, but they actually fucking can't stop thinking about it.
I would like to know what the demographic of the people. I guess for a family film, it'll be kids and mums and dads. Maybe the test audiences they're getting are too soppy. Like, maybe if they had a darker view of the world like us, we'd be like, nah, fucking life's shit. Like, they should die in the end. Do you get what I'm saying? Like, there's so many mitigating factors to this conversation, Declan.
That's what you just shouldn't do it at all. It just doesn't make any sense. Like, I'm not being funny. Great films flop a lot. Like, it happens. There's weird things of just release dates or what's going on, or sometimes a film just fucking no one goes to see it. No one went to see Shawshank Redemption. No one went to see The Thing. You know, great films flop all the time. You know, it's already an art form with way too much input from so many people. So many variables for it to go wrong. So why would you introduce these fucking idiots who aren't even in the industry and don't even understand why they like a film afterwards half the time?
I agree.
They should ask me.
Let's end it with fuck test audiences.
Yeah, fuck test audiences.
Let's all go to the lobby to get ourselves a treat.